Hi, welcome to the Art of Braids podcast. I am your host, Karyne Tinord, and today's topic is super exciting for all of our mobile braiders who'll be traveling all over the place to get the work done. So today's topic is travel and thrive. Self-care strategies for braiders on the go with our special guest for today, Youmie Jean-Francois of Flex and Fly Travel and Wellness Company. Thank you so much, Youmie, for joining us today to just talk about what it is you do, who you are, and amazing tips that we can actually incorporate in the braiding world as well as the creative professional. So please, a quick intro with you. I'm not going to let the viewers wait. So let's go.
Okay. So thank you so much, Karyne, for having me, my fellow Haitian sister. I love you. My name is Youmie Jean-Francois. I'm the founder and CEO of Flex and Fly, a travel wellness company that provides stretching, meditation, and yoga classes at the airport. Essentially, what we do is we create wellness studios in airports. So for travelers that struggle with anxiety, for pilots, for flight attendants, we want to take care of the people that take care of you while you travel. So when you think of anything with travel and wellness, you should be thinking about Flex and Fly. In addition, I'm also the creative director and founder of the Flex Bags, our anti-theft minimalist travel bags, as well as our yoga mats. And because it's you, Karyne, I'll make this announcement here. I'm also the founder of the Flex and Fly Foundation, a brand new nonprofit launching. By the time this comes out, I don't know if it'll be out. But we're launching very soon with an all-black board, female board, which was one of my biggest goals of my life. I'm so excited. This is the first time I'm sharing it out loudly and publicly, and it's just been such, you know how it is, Karyne. You do so many stuff and you own so many businesses and you also run a nonprofit. So you know the process of building, creating, finding the right board, finding the group of people, the things that you're doing. And I am this just feels like what I was supposed to do. It was one of the hardest things, the hardest decisions to make, to start the Flex and Fly Foundation, but I am so proud of it. And just to share a little bit here with your viewers, the Flex and Fly Foundation is a nonprofit that is going to focus on helping underserved communities by creating community hubs for 3 months, where our pillars are travel, wellness, and entrepreneurship. And so we're going to be helping people get their pilot license. We're going to be helping small business owners get capital. We're also going to be helping wellness enthusiasts prioritize their wellness. So every community hub will have a wellness studio where you can come and take dance classes and yoga, meditation, therapy. Like, it is going to give back fully to the community, and it really feeds to my philanthropist tweak of mine. And I really feel like it's my lifelong desire to give back this way. And it's been 6 years in the making, almost 6 years in the making. And so we're launching that in less than 2 weeks.
Listen, congratulations on all of that. I didn't even know. So
I know.
listen, everybody, y'all hearing it with me. Like, that is super. It's like every time I see something with Flex and Fly, it's just like another layer of excellence that comes out of it. So
Thank you.
congratulations on that. And yes,
Thank you.
nonprofit work it is rewarding, but it is very taxing on the person. So having wellness associated with that makes sense.
It is, I have a tradition where I wake up in a different country every new year. I've been doing it for over 12 years. In the beginning of 2024, I was in Sri Lanka. I woke up in Sri Lanka. And while I was there, God told me that this is the year you start the nonprofit. And I'm like, wait, my plate is full. We have a lot to do at the airport, Lord. I can't run another, because it's another business. I now have 3 businesses that I'm running all together, and it's me. And I just was like, I don't think I can do it. I don't know. And also, I live a very leisure lifestyle. Like if you know me, you know that I love to work, but I love to rest even more. And so I just was like, where's this gonna fit in, Lord? And by the grace of God, He has been able to make everything happen, whether it is through my lawyers, the board, the advisory, our global advisory council. I mean, this became much bigger than I expected. And now we're going global, we're growing so quickly. And I'm just really excited to take care of people, mental, physical, and emotional health, while also helping entrepreneurs and people that want to see the world.
Ooh,
And this is the only way I can give back that makes me feel the fullest. And I'm so glad I already have a business that already aligns with this nonprofit.
it makes sense. Like I think when starting a nonprofit, I did mine backwards. I started my
Mm.
nonprofit and then I started my career. Like,
Ah,
and people were like, "That's not how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to make the money and then give back, not
yeah,
back and then." So, but I was just like, again, God was like,
it's time.
it's time. And I was just like, okay,
Mhm.
my life crumbling all around me, but yet the nonprofit is what kept me. Like it was just being fulfilled with putting a smile on people's face or, uh,
Yeah.
the kids and the families, like, so much you've helped me. And I'm like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. But then I was like,
Mhm.
I have a skill, right? Like I was just like braiding is what kept me. Like it sustained me throughout high school, college, life. Anytime
Yeah,
I'm running low on something, I'm like, okay, I'll do somebody here. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been what fed me during any of.
yeah,
So I totally understand. And now I'm like, okay, let me bring that together. But it took a lot to kind of like figure out how all of that connected. For you,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, this makes sense. This is
It
I'm
really
already
feels great
doing
when
that.
God writes the vision. At this point, I'm not even focused on writing the vision. I used to call myself a visionary, right? Like, because you get these ideas and you're like, da, 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 da. But really, I find that those that God trusts are the ones that get the visions. And I feel like the one and my job is just to simply walk in it. And I feel really honored. I mean, let me be very honest, it's very stressful. Takes a lot of time, it's a lot of work. I have a lot of employees now that I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I feel like I'm an adult against my will all the time. I say that to people all the time. I'm like, how did I become an adult? Like, I just want to go eat all the time and like disappear. How do I have all of this responsibility? And but I feel really honored that God trusts me. And I feel like that has been like a common thing, that feeling that God trusts me enough to give me the vision and then trust me enough to carry it out. Because I know that there's many of us that He comes to, and if you're listening to this and God keeps giving you a vision, keeps giving you an opportunity, keeps telling you, hey, make that move, do this thing, da 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 da. Don't ignore it, because there's gonna be someone that's obedient. He does offer these visions to many. Okay. And I think some of us are just like sitting on what he tells us to do and refuse to be obedient on it, because we don't know the how it's going to work, how it's going to look like, what it's going to be. And so we sit on visions, and these visions end up just being, paralyzed and suffocated. And until someone has the courage to be obedient, because it's courage before confidence. And so
Ooh,
I feel like a lot of people end up um, not following through the visions because they don't recognize that God trusts them. So your job isn't to be like, I got to make this vision successful. It's already successful. You were chosen. You understand what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
already successful. He believed in you to do it. Like, and so it's so much bigger than like, this has to work, that pressure. You shouldn't have pressure when God calls you. You
No.
should be like, oh, it's already, I'm not saying it's not going to be difficult. You're going to be challenged, right? You're going to grow. God is focused on our growth, not our comfort, like constantly being comfortable in what we know and what we're comfortable with. Like he's focused on your growth. And so you will grow. But it's so important that you are obedient. And my word for 2024 was obedience. So you can imagine. It's been difficult.
No, I
I'm just
totally get
talking
it.
so
Like,
much.
no, no,
I
no,
can't.
no. I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be someone or multiple people who needs to hear that because
Mm.
it is scary. Like the vision is never small.
Never. It's
Never.
never like just go down the block.
No, it's like you get this huge, you like, who? Who is that for? Not for me. That's for like a team of 10 or 20. Like, but he's gonna provide, right? Like he'll provide
Yes.
everything that he calls you to do. He just wants you to take that step. And me, just a lot of people in my family, I think, like, or friends, they'd be like, what are you doing now? I'm like, listen, I have no control
Mm-hmm.
of these things. It's more of like, okay, I think I know this is what he's asking me to do because it's going to benefit a lot of people, right?
Mm.
Like it,
Yeah.
look, Jesus had a bread, right? Like, when I Jesus, sorry. But yeah, he had a loaf of bread and fed tens of thousands of people. So it's like you can have this one vision, this small thing, you like, I don't have anything. I don't have. But as soon as you take that step and believe and be like, yo, no, it
Mm-hmm.
is something good and people would benefit from it. And it doesn't come from a selfish place, it
Right.
becomes fruitful.
Yeah.
Okay, we talking about the word. All right, so let's
Listen, the word is alive. And I always find it so funny because there's so many people that are successful because of the word and they won't say
they
it.
won't.
You have to give honor where honor is due, and that includes your spiritual life. And sometimes, and that's not telling you who to believe in and what to believe in, but like life is so much bigger than us. And for me, my relationship with God, and particularly specifically, I am a Christian, so I do believe in that word and the word of God. So it's a little bit different for me when I'm speaking in this form of way, but like I think it's just so important to give honor to the one that gives the vision, because the truth is, like, it doesn't just come from out of nowhere. Everything is so intentional and impactful with God that the world will tell you, you're delusional and crazy and all that stuff. They'll use words like that. And I'm just like, no, I'm not delusional or crazy. I'm a believer. Believers believe.
Yeah. There.
About me, baby. I am well and open-minded and I am well. So I'm very careful with what I say. And I understand the impact of feeling like, you know what, just be a little crazy. No, I'm actually not crazy. I'm a believer. Believers believe.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, we used to watch these shows, these cartoons like Arthur, where it's like believe in yourself. Like they've been saying, believe from day one. And
Yes.
there's some people who actually walk in it and have that faith. It's like,
Yeah.
what? And you never forget. I think it's really important. And you said it before, it's like, oh, you feel like you've been forced into being an adult, right? Like, the people who are the most successful or happy in their success or in the journey to this place, they are still tapped in. We are still tapped in with our
Mhm.
with the kid in us, where it's like, oh, I want to do this, I
Mhm.
want to do that. I'm always curious. And I think it's very important to be curious all the time and not
You know what's crazy? I feel like I am living out my childhood as an adult. My imagination is great. My faith is better. My faith is, I feel stronger and even better because I have wisdom behind it now and experience, right? And I just don't even understand it when someone tells me no. It doesn't even make any sense. I have a niece that she is she's the best thing in the whole world. Her name is Ashari, and she is 2.5. She's gonna be 3 soon. And her ability to want what she wants is we look at her like, Miss, please. Like, just we're trying to save your life. You know what I mean? But she's just like, no. Like her boundaries are so dope. Like she can do anything. She could be anything. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm her. Like, I love hanging out with her because I'm like, oh, I'm a child. I'm a child. Like that pure, that belief, that I don't have time for nonsense. Feed me, make me happy. Like, I don't have time to feed into drama. What's going on? I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. Like, I love that about childhood. And I love that about having that youthful spirit because it keeps me so humbled. And I've been learning, like, the more that God whispers to me, kind of like a parent whispers to their kids or talk to their kids over and over, the less hardened my heart is, the less stubborn I become, because I'm a stubborn girl. The less stubborn I become, and the less stubborn I become with God, the more He can work with me, because it's not about me. It's always about someone else with God. Like He's like, yeah, I'm using you. I got other people to save and take care of. Like you, I need you to just be obedient.
That was such a amazing topic. Like I can talk about God and you know what I'm saying, the journey for hours, but we don't have all that all that time. But for a later date, of course, we're gonna just like have
Yes, of course.
but let's dive into the topic at hand, which is travel and thrive, self-care
Mhm.
strategies for Braiders on the go. So you've built Flex and Fly into this incredible traveling wellness company, helping people take care of their mind and body on the go. Can you
Mhm.
share the story of how it all started? Was there a specific aha moment that made you realize people needed this?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I was first, Flex and Fly began. My sister and I were going on a birthday trip to Lisbon, Portugal. I ended up stopping. I missed my flight. I ended up going to Morocco. And in Morocco, I don't know if you know, but they have time for people to go smoke. They have spaces and rooms in the airport for people to go pray. Because for the most part, it's a Muslim country. I mean, there's Christians and everything else, but like, so for the most part. And so there were spaces where people can go pray. And I remember seeing a man going into the room to just go and pray. And I saw, like, for the lack of better words, he went down into a downward dog, like style, like to me, you know. And but he was just praying, putting his head down. And I just was like, man, this would be so amazing if this was a stretching class. That's when it happened in the airport at Morocco, excuse me. And I remember going to my sister, I shared it with her. I then, like less than 2 months later, yeah, like about 3, 4 months that spring, I went to abroad with my ex-boyfriend, and we went to Israel at the time. And doing that, it was doing Passover, and it was so insane at that airport, like seeing all the people going to Israel, and it was packed and crazy. And I was like, oh my God, this is so chaotic. Like, these people need Flex and Fly. Like, this is insane. Like, they're losing their minds. They're packing everything up. Like, it's just so crazy at the airport. And I was like, they need peace in the midst of chaos. Like, this is too chaotic. And I was like, I remember saying to my ex's mom when we got there, and I was like, I have an idea. When I go back, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna start this business. Da, 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 da. That's literally what happened. I didn't have any experience. Let me just be clear. I didn't have any experience in the airport world outside of my love for planes in the airport. Like, I didn't have any experience and like, oh, I'm going to create some. I just thought of a place that needed it. I am an answer. And that's how I feel like most entrepreneurs are. I'm an answer. I Problems or questions, right? So I have already solidified myself as an answer. And so my idea that God offered me was to offer it here. And I was like, oh, I can do that. I didn't think, nor did I know how hard it was going to be, the process. Like, that never occurred to me outside of the fact that I had the answer to the problem that I saw and that I was literally the answer. And so I went back. I was working my last job. I was working at oh my God, this oh my God, it's been so long. Hallelujah, it's been so long since thank you, Jesus. But I was working at downtown on West 4th Street and at this coffee shop. And I went and I was like, hey, I'm here until Christmas. After that, I'm gone. She was, oh, sure. I don't think she believes me because I was one of the best workers. I was making a lot of money there. Let me just say that. And I left Christmas Day. Christmas Day, I left that job and I started Flex and Fly by 2018. That was like the end of 2017. 2018, that May, I got all my trademarks. I got everything together. Like, I literally did everything because I came back in April from Israel. That May, I found a lawyer. That's the number one thing I will tell anyone. When you don't know things, hire people that are smarter than you. Everyone that I work with is smarter than me. Okay?
That's
Too many of them are trying to take shortcuts. Okay? Don't try to take the elevator. Oh, let me try. If you're blessed, if you're one of those people that can do it all by yourself, go ahead. But even then, like, you're gonna burn out. It's so important when you don't. I didn't know anything about filing the trademark specifically for like the airport. Like, it's so specific for what I wanted to do in the travel space. So I just hired. That was my first big hire. I was still working at the place, and I basically paid my lawyer while I was serving. I was working from like 5 p.m. to 3 in the morning. And I was just working. Like, I was working, working, working all the time. And, you know, you don't recognize the process when you're in it.
right.
Because when I tell the story now and I'm like, damn, I was working from 5 p.m. to 3 in the morning, like days after days, because I needed the money. Like, and I was younger and I had the energy. And I was like, I was so focused that's all I just was like, I got to get out of here. And to get out of here, I need to have money, you know? And so I just remember paying my lawyer up. I was like, I need a website. My lawyer's like, oh, I can recommend you someone. I hired the guy. And like, it was the whole process for that. But Flex and Fly in that capacity, I knew it was going to be what it's about to be to the world. I knew it. It's one of the reasons why I kept the company and I didn't sell it immediately, because I sold my last two companies and they were very different than from Flex and Fly. I had much more experience in the other things, but this one I had no experience, so I had to gain it completely. And so ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna thrive. We put out our yoga mats. It was really successful. 2020 come. We're about to launch at the airport, April 2020. The Lord said, huh?
Listen, I was literally about to ask you because I was like, okay, Flex and Fire started the idea in 2018, 2019. I'm like, we coming up to 2020 and everything was shut down.
Talk about faith, huh? This is why God can't be out of it.
Because
Because
it'd be like,
literally the very place you sent me to is shutting down. Huh?
like that. That's called courage and faith. Because Lord,
They had no idea. So we're April 2020 comes. We're supposed to be launching. We're getting a lot of buzz. We can't. They're like, give us like 2 weeks. I think the whole world thought it was like 2 weeks. This whole thing will pass down. Everything's gonna be okay. You remember? I mean, we all were there.
yes.
Because it was like in the middle of March or like early March. You're like, oh, let's see what. I'm like, by mid-April, May. Okay, fine. Yeah, no, it didn't happen for us. And by that September, every single one of my investors dropped out. So Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And my business plan, my original business plan, trash. Because it's not, we're no longer living in the same world. Right. So now the people can't even touch each other. People can't classes. What's that? Gyms are shut down.
Okay.
Like everything.
So now during that time, I know everybody end up going on Zoom. Everybody
Yeah.
online. So is there where a pivot happened?
Yes. Yes. So I moved, like I mentioned earlier, I wake up in a different country every new year. I had planned on going, like moving to Colombia, like just go for the month and just whatever. And but while going to Colombia, I had my other product, the flex bags that I had, and I wanted to hand make them. I didn't want to go abroad and do it in that way. And I said, where can I go that I knew the people I was going to give the money to? And I also wanted a shorter time when it came to shipping. So Colombia was ideal for me. So, I'm not one to gatekeep. So if you're someone that is always looking to make things like bags and you're looking for people to make it, the best place is in South America. Like it's just better. Guatemala, Colombia, Ecuador, like all of it. That's where you need to be. And so I went. Meanwhile, throughout this, me and my ex are breaking up. We're gonna do a whole breakout, honey.
You got to clear the way. You got to remove, you got to remove certain things.
Yo, we're
Lessons.
ending our relationship of almost 5 years. My business is not launching like I thought, and I'm in Colombia.
You still have to be focused. That's the thing. It's like, don't get distracted with what's
Yo,
going on. You got to be like eyes on the
I
prize.
think I think that while my heart was breaking, while this transition was happening, this new transition in my life was happening, I was becoming the leader I was always supposed to be. And that conflict is a real thing, which is why I wrote my book, the Sacrifice When Transition Looks Like Chaos. And like I was able to complete it because I needed that last part.
Yeah,
Um, woo, girl.
that is that is so true. Everything that we need is in the experience that we're gonna go through, but we have to
Absolutely.
go through it. And
You
it's
the only way out is through. You can't go around it. You can't hope it don't happen. You can't like there's a lot of things in life you do have to go through. There are things you don't, but there are certain experiences in life that you must experience to really tell the story, to really tell people. Like so when you get to the other side and you go back to tell people it gets better, you can really say it from a real place. Like, no, darling.
like, okay, you
It don't
crying.
it's amazing. Cry, cry a lot. But I promise you, there's going to be a time where it's all laughter, when it's all smiles.
Yeah, listen. And if you're like fortunate enough to go through a certain horrible thing and laugh through it, just like a kid, like you like jump, they fall, you'd be like, I'm okay. You'd be like,
Yeah,
you
you
too.
okay? I'm
They're like,
scared for you.
I'm okay. Because they like, I'm still focused. Like I was having fun. So I don't care about
Yeah,
the bruises. I'm riding a bike.
yeah,
I'm okay. I fell. I'll get back up. So it's like, it's very important to laugh and smile, even in the pain. Like
yes,
you heal
yes. I
faster
mean,
that way.
it takes time to get there, but be kind to yourself through the transition. You've never been there before, so don't judge yourself too harshly. You'll find your way. You'll find your way again. While I was in Colombia, I found a really great woman. I made my first bag with her. I literally showed her. Like I was like, I wanted this, and I didn't know how to sew. I was like in the whole process of it.
Yeah.
And I made the bag. I love the bag. And during this time, obviously, Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd, a lot of that was happening. While in Colombia, I was very vocal about it, very, very vocal. I was calling out the wellness industry because in the wellness industry, there's not a lot of leading Black women that are leading in that space in the way that I was, and especially with travel wellness. And in my peer group were a lot of white women. And a lot of the mentality that they had when it came to George Floyd, it was just like, peace, everyone, peace, everyone. And I just was like, okay, wait, we need to discuss this. This is not, you're not helping anyone by being like, oh, peace, peace, peace. And so I started being honest about, the amount of money we receive, the amount of things that we get, how we're severely not paid the same, how treated the same, how there can only be one of us that you guys are comfortable with. Like, I was very vocal. In addition to that, I was very focused on building my email list. So I was telling them what I was doing in Colombia. I was sharing pictures, colors, or whatever. So by the time the flex bags were made, the first day that we put it out to the world, we sold out. We made six figures in less than 6 months of the flex bags. We've made a lot of money. Don't be counting my money, but we've made a lot of money. I'm talking to the listeners. That you care? You're on mute.
But it's very important to know that because it inspired people. It's like, listen, even though you couldn't launch that same year, by the time that you did do the work and go out on the inkling that you had, like, hey, like, let's still go to Colombia. Let's still do what we said we were going to do, regardless of our tower moment and things are just falling apart. It's like,
Yeah.
I got you. I
Yeah.
got you.
And to this day, we're launching finally next year at multiple airports, including JFK in New York and New York City. But my products is what Flex and Fly is known as now, which is really funny because we're a service-based business. But now we're known in our products. We're in Flying Solo, Macy's. We had a huge deal. Between me and you guys, we had a huge opportunity with Louis Vuitton, and the exclusivity part of it was not something I was okay with. Shout out to lawyers again. You guys, get yourself good lawyers because those fine prints is what will get you certain things or keep you safe. So, we've been chosen as Forbes top 14 sling bag. We've been in, like, we do really, really well. And our biggest market is not social media at all. I think I'm very good at creating a good product that is specific to a group of people. I'm not trying to be for everyone. The flex bags are for minimalist travelers, so stop trying to pack all your stuff in there. It's for minimalists. You guys drive me mad. You're like, oh, I want to add more. I'm like, you guys. What do you want me to do here? It looks like a belt. I didn't create it. I created it so you won't be stolen from. I mean, I traveled all over Colombia with the bags, all over, and everyone stopped me. Where'd you get your bag? Where'd you get your bag? And I really wore it as mine because I wanted to create something that I wasn't stolen from. I didn't like getting stolen from when I traveled around the world, So our bags are anti-theft. They're 100% leather. They're handmade. They're gorgeous. They come in 5 colors. We've been at H&M, things to buy from a Black woman. Like, we've done really, really well with the bags, and they continue to grow. We're about to announce our new product. Another big announcement on Karyne.
Like,
Come on. Listen, this quarter four, we gotta get it in, baby. Um,
no,
we're about to announce our new one.
You said, what was that?
We're about to announce our new product.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Like, it's like, it's so fashionable too. Cause like, people are on the go, content creators, all of that, like creatives. So it makes
Love
sense.
it. They love the bag. It became like a fashion thing. We've been in Harper's Bazaar. Like, people end up being like, oh my God, this is stylists love the bag. They're like always putting it on their celebrity friends. And I'm like, oh, because they travel. And I'll tell you guys, our number one buyers abroad like men love the bags, but specifically security guards to the stores. They love the flex bags. I could not believe how much they love the bags.
It makes
Like, and
sense.
then they tell all their friends because they wear it under their jackets. They wear it like it's just so easy. They don't have to carry anything. They don't have to. It's one of my best sellers because I have both men and women buying the product. And so that blew us up a lot and made us quite successful to the point where, I started saving a lot of money, and I started going back about this year was when I went back and I said, you know what, let me go ahead and start raising again, which was a really scary thing because when you've done it by yourself and you know what you can do with the money, but your goal is bigger than staying as a small mom and pop business shop, because Flex and Fly is a corporation. We plan on being all over the world. So one of my biggest goals is to make sure that we go public so that everyone can get a piece of it. So idealistically, we were always going to go and get investors. The airport is not cheap. You guys know that. You buy water at the airport. You know what it's like.
You buy,
Anything
you
you
buy
buy there is
water.
like 10 times more.
Yeah. It's like I'm gonna go for water and be like,
Right. So
yeah.
you can imagine the rent, right? Or for the space. So it's quite expensive, I'm not doing something light. Nothing that I do is light work. I'm doing something that's gonna be steady, growing, consistent, and luxurious. And it's gonna cost money because providing that wellness studios in the airports the way that we're going to do it through our classes is so specific, and our AI app, the way that we're going to bring airports around the world together, like, everything that my visions cost a lot of money. So I started racing again. And I'm happy to say that we've raised over $5 million. My goal is 10. And that's what I was doing this whole year, in addition to building and growing. Like, I'm just out here letting people know that I exist in a way that's going to change the world and the way that you travel. So when I see braiders and anyone, nurses that go and they travel nurses, and you're on your feet all the time and you're doing all that, I think about you guys all the time because I'm like, who is taking care of you guys? Because I know when you do that kind of hard work, that is labor. It's so important for you to pause, stop, breathe. So I want to continue to remind you to prioritize your health and your mental and physical stuff, and don't be desperate for finances, because when you put yourself in that position, stress is inevitable, and stress kills, and it shows up on particularly Black women in such a very sneaky way, where we've been taught to just be strong and quote unquote thug it out and just, push through. We don't see how stress can paralyze us, make us sick, um, get into our physical body, and literally make us feel like we can't get out of bed, to the point of depression. So I think prioritizing your wellness in that form, especially when you travel, learning the basic little things that you do. And when you're flying, or when you're driving for a long time, or when you're going to a client, is so important. It's so important to drink water, and particularly water with electrolytes. Not just drink a gallon of water, coconut water. I'm not gonna say Gatorade all the time if you're not okay with the sugar, but it has electrolytes. But the best version is coconut water with some Celtic salt, or regular water with some Celtic salt is really great for electrolytes in your body. Wake it back up, getting your sleep. Some of you guys are constantly on your feet, 16, 17, 18. Oh, I'm back up again. No, your body need rest to recover. You can't skip sleep. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And many of us are sleeping 3, 4 hours, 5 hours if we're lucky, right? And you think that's enough. It's not enough. Your body will pay for it. And your body is your most loyal partner. You have to start honoring it differently. So it's so important for you to start stretching, yoga, any form of flexibility that keeps your body going. You need to start doing that for your body. That's why we provide it. A lot of you guys are just like eating, going to sleep, wake up, ugh, and then back up on it. You don't have any routine that gives back or taps back into you physically. And you have to do that for yourself. You have to do that. I don't care if it's dancing 10 minutes a day. I dance no matter what to get my cardio in 10 minutes a day. It's my favorite. Put some Afro beats, put some Caribbean music on, okay? While I'm cooking breakfast, I'm dancing. Get your body moving. It's so important. Start going around and really paying attention to what you're eating. There's so many things and the things that you pick up. Especially in America, we're fed through fast food. So we think that's food, right? And it's not food. We've conditioned our appetite and our tongue to believe that, fried chicken, a pizza, I just need something to eat. And we're like, oh, I feel so much better. And you're not. You're actually taking away from your body. Start learning how to eat for your body, how to eat when you're over 30, how to rest, how much rest you need. Pay attention to when you're having your period. What does that look like? Listen, when it comes to wellness, your girl knows. And it's so important for me, specifically for Black women, because there's so many of us that are struggling, fibroids and having all type of disease all over our body, because we were conditioned only to what we knew back then. There are better ways to live physically now, especially if you're working and on your feet all the time. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of you guys have to start prioritizing that. Like, no, you know what? I can't do another 16 hours for the last 2 weeks.
Listen, so just to kid, I know. So I was gonna you actually went into the next question, which is like standing on our feet. So I don't even have to ask that question. But just to like after the whole earthquake, I ended up breaking my ankle and I had to retire because I was like, I can't stand on my feet, right?
Mm.
And again, it's for a different time, but breaking my ankle was like the best thing that ever happened to me. But it was like the recovery, the process to see how my body
Yeah.
was able to be like, hey, it was, I was smiling throughout the entire process, even in pain. Like I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But it was the like when I went back to doing hair, um, my foot started swelling up a little bit faster. So then it started to irritate the part that was back to heal. It was healed, but not all the way. So it was
Mm-hmm.
just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I can't do the 10, 15 hours. And then I had to do like maybe once a week, or like I couldn't have anything back to back at all. Like,
Mm-mm.
because it's like, what life are you truly having? And then when you're thinking about it, it's like, are you thinking ahead of time? Because it's like you cannot, I don't think the like retiring, you would have to retire at one point, because what are we doing
It's
this
not
70?
sustainable.
Are
It's
we
not
doing this at
sustainable.
70? So being physically intentional about like when you setting your times. Also, I'm in my practice, I always let the clients know like, hey, be mindful. This is still a job for me. So I'm going to take a break, right? Like I'm gonna take an hour or I'm gonna take 30 and then 2 15s, something that I can keep my feet, get off my feet. So for me, that's what I do to try to like tap into that wellness part to make sure that I still am cognizant of I'm alive and I'm not a robot,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna go into the second, well, the third question because you answered.
Yes.
Go ahead. Since you travel so much with Flex and Fly, what's your
Mhm.
secret to staying grounded and taking yourself taking care of yourself while on the move. And let's be honest, how do you avoid feeling like a hot mess when you've had a long layover or flight?
Um, Listen, I've been traveling for a very long time, so I do have a routine. The first thing, my routine starts the day before I start traveling. So the day before, the night before, or whatever the situation is, I always do a body, I brush my whole body. I dry brush, which I highly recommend because it automatically creates a lymphatic massage style where my body ends up being anti-inflammatory. I don't eat a lot of fast food before I travel because I'm going to be on the plane. I'm also a private pilot, so there's a lot of like stuff aviation wise that I know about that when I'm about to get on a plane, I just do. I don't eat heavy, greasy, like type of food before. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink Coke. I don't do caffeine. Now, I know that's really hard for a lot of y'all because in the morning, I need it.
Not for me. I do not drink caffeine. I do not do
Wow,
caffeine.
that's amazing. That's really hard for a lot of people, but like that automatically always inflame you. It inflames you. And it makes it really hard, all the water you're drinking to work.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes
You
sense.
understand? So just literally do a quick detox before you fly. I
No.
do a detox. That's essentially what it is. I do a detox. I make sure I try to rest, even if I'm excited. And then when I get to the that morning, I always do a flex and fly formula that you'll be experiencing at the airport that we created. I do it, I set my body up. I go to the airport. While I'm there, I have everything that is fast. First of all, I don't do lines, I don't do any of that. I put in the time. Okay, darlings? I put in the time. So I seriously just skip everything, but I still get to the airport super early because I love it. I love the airport to watch planes fly away, to see people, the space. I just love it. And so while I'm there, I drink a lot of water, electrolytes again. For I usually like to order my food before. And if I don't, I try to order something vegan or vegetarian when I'm on the plane. I don't want to eat meat. I don't want to eat anything too heavy that's going to make my body feel a certain way. I don't order soda. And for the love of God, do not eat the ice. Ask your flight attendant why. Try your best not to drink the alcohol. It's okay. Like, I understand you can have it if you want, but like, it's probably best not to. We know what alcohol does, okay? So it's probably best not to have it when you're like super high in the sky because you automatically get super dehydrated when you're on in the sky.
Oh.
you know I also make sure I get up and walk every other hour or so. If I have a very long international flight, I got to get up and walk, because you don't want blood clots to be forming on your legs, in your body. Those are really important things. And a lot of you guys are like on flights 5, 7 hours. You're like, oh, I slept the whole time, but your body feels it. So get up, hit your legs, hit your knees, do a quick stretch, go into the bathroom, do those things for your body. And for the love of God, hydration. Do a skin mask. I don't care. Do a mask, do whatever. Don't pay attention to other people. You know what I mean? Because that will keep your skin plump and delicious. I do all these things, and it's actually really simple. It sounds like crazy, but it's really simple. It's just a matter of intentionality. Like when you're in a tight, closed up space and you're there for hours and you're sitting, your body is not happy. So try to make your body the happiest it can be for the time that it is. A big part of that is what you're eating. A big part of that is your stretching. A big part of that, getting compression socks. That's very helpful for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Get those things. I do those things, and then I do rest. I do not take melatonin. I will take a magnesium, right, to just go to bed and drink some water and just go to bed. Wake up, The best way that I can and do the little stretches is if I can do the walks. And then by the time I'm at the spot, I'm very happy. The minute I hit the new airport, I take 10 minutes, 5, 10 minutes to stretch. I always have to stretch and give my body, even if it's a very slow. That's why we have our yoga mats, our travel mats. You can take them with you. Flip it right at there and just do a quick stretch. And then your body will thank you because now you're about to get in a car. It's gonna be another 30 minutes. Like you understand, traveling is like so consistent. Like you don't recognize how you do it. Even with us in New York City, when we're like on the train, you're like, okay, I'm walking to the train. You're on the train for like 40 minutes, an hour. Then you're walking again. And then you're getting on another train. Like it's constant. It's a big part of our lives. And for some reason, we just kind of automate it. Like we're not intentional about it. Like, oh, I should prepare myself for travel. I should prepare myself to do this. You know what I mean? So that's the routines that I do, and I love it. So
Yeah.
stay away from the fast foods. I'm on Chick-fil-A and them and Popeyes and Burger King, because that's all the airport want to give you is French fries and burgers and Fridays and like all the stuff, and they keep you very full, but like it's not good for you. It's
It's not.
not. So please bring your own food. Bring your own stuff.
Yeah, that's very important. Bring
Yeah.
your food because they're not going to throw it out. That's the only thing that they won't throw out. The drinks you will have to buy, but the food you can bring. So make your sandwiches.
They won't throw out the food.
Yeah, bring your
I love bringing
sandwiches.
food to the airport. I'll be like, please, I don't want none of your food. Thank you. I have my own.
Right, you could spend
But I'm
now you
bougie
can
like that.
spend
Now, if I'm in Qatar Airlines, give me the food.
now you can spend
I can't deal with any
$2,000 on a
American
bottle of water.
Airlines. We so late. We so late. American Airlines. We so backwards. Put me in Qatar, and they can have my whatever they want. Whatever they want. Their food is great.
So you'll hear Yumi said, make sure it's food, be careful what you're eating. Also walk, stretch. Stretch is very important.
Lots of stretches, yeah. That's why you guys gotta come and experience Flex and Fly because you will feel the difference immediately. We provide classes so that you can stretch before and after your flights. It's a big difference of your body.
Can avoid a whole bunch of things like plantar fasciitis. I'm not
Yes,
saying
yes, blood clots.
yeah, all of that. Like, oh, okay. So let's go into the next and last educational question.
Yeah.
You also are a poet. And I feel like there's a connection between creativity in writing and creativity in the beauty industry, especially
Mm.
braiding. How do you use poetry and creative expression as a part of your wellness routine? And how could our audience of braiders bring more creativity into their self-care?
I think we're all very much creative. If you're a human being, the way your brain works, you're very creative. I think leaning into it is what many people struggle with. Like I find that when I'm in pain or like when I have a lot of thoughts in my mind as a person that's always creating ideas and things I want to do as an entrepreneur, I have to get it out. Or else I'm driving myself crazy with all the things that I'm doing in here. And you know what they say, the mind is the battlefield. And so I have to get it out. I think one of the best things that I've been able to do is not judge myself with about my thoughts on paper. Like sometimes I just write and it doesn't have to make sense to me. Like it doesn't have to say, oh yeah, she's yes. It could be four different thoughts all at the same time. But the minute I release it, I take it out of my brain, I'm able to breathe. And I'm able to breathe differently. And breath is such the most important thing you can do in life is breathe. Because once you stop breathing, it's over. And what I'm able to do after I remove these thoughts and put them on paper, I have a calm sense of relief, release, and peace. And sometimes you think it's about crying or hitting or doing something, but like sometimes it's just about being honest with yourself. Like, I don't know how I feel, but I need to get this out. I have never taken a moment to intentionally write and not feel better after. And so becoming a poet wasn't like I consider myself a writer, and I have a poetry book, a poetry and prose book, because of the type of writing that I'm doing in there. But really, I have thoughts that needed to be released, and I could no longer house them. And that's how I feel. And I think as creatives, especially people in the beauty industry, you guys are constantly having to deal with comparison and seeing this and seeing that and feeling this way and feeling that way and questioning yourself and doing all that type of stuff. I can't imagine living your life. That's a lot to carry around. So I would highly suggest that you find the thing that makes you feel like you're breathing again. So it doesn't necessarily have to look like writing or journaling like I do. For you, it may be dancing. For you, it may be cooking. For me, for you, or like trying new recipes, right? Like learning how to cook differently from different cultures and all that stuff. For you, it may be taking a walk, right? For you, it may be meditating. For you, it may be prayer. For you, your creativity may shine when stillness occurs the most for you. So you may need to just be in silence, stillness, right? For you, it may be travel. For someone else, it may be just being around their nieces or nephew. Like for me, it makes me so happy being with my sister and my niece. And I feel very inspired by them, and I get so many ideas. So I think it's important to tap back into what makes you breathe, because the thing that helps you breathe usually is creative. You know what I mean? And it brings you back to a place where you don't feel like you have to prove yourself. You just are. And it's important to nurture that, because so many of us are living a life of chasing, proving, letting people know that you exist. And it's okay to just be. And by being means just existing because you are happy existing. So I think as creatives, especially people that's always pouring into other people, offering to other people, giving to other people, it's okay to stop putting yourself at the front of the line, you know? I can't hear you, boo. You're on mute. She be muting herself so she won't interrupt me. She's so sweet.
I'm so sorry. No, I was saying it's very important. And plus, in our field, we're connecting with so many different people, hearing their stories as a hairstylist, or as a creative, as an artist. It's just like you're hearing if somebody has any illness or they're going through a breakup or their dating lives, and like you're taking on all of that, and then you're just like the air.
Yeah.
And then you're also sharing a little bit about yourself, because it's like you become a family, especially as a traveling stylist, or anything like that.
You're a therapist.
Yeah, you become like the family therapist or the friend therapist.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, okay, how can I do this and focus on getting this hair done, right? Like it's like
Mhm.
you have all of these things that you have to balance
Mhm.
while still being professional, still being the homie, still being the therapist, still being the hairstyle, like, and still being creative. And for me, and also still being painless, right? So
Mhm.
it's all of that, that kind of like helps not only the client, but also yourself, because I'm big on like the care and making sure that I can't care for anybody if I haven't cared for myself. So I
Yeah.
understand painless, and I understand about like what does that look like for that person when it comes to their wellness, right? Like it's like
Mhm.
and then with my hands and what I'm exposed to, like there's certain chemicals I would never I'm
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not. You do, no, 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 I'm not smelling that. You know what I'm saying? So it's very
Mm.
important to say no to certain things, and also learning about products and what you're consuming or what is on your hands, what your skin is exposed to as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're gonna go into the next questions as we wrap up this amazing interview.
Thank you
So
so
this is
much.
about you. This is how the audience can connect to like you because you've given
Oh,
poured into so much into the
thank you.
audience. What is something people are surprised to know about you?
Oh, something people, I mean, your audience will be surprised about a lot of things. I guess I speak 4 languages. I'm a private pilot. I um I don't have a desire. I'm childless on purpose. I don't have a desire for children.
Ooh.
So and like I don't have a desire for it, meaning like there's never been a part of me that ever wanted to carry or have children in that capacity. And it's one of the things that I'm happiest the most in my life because I always knew.
Well,
And I think that I'm really proud of it even more because I think there are many women that know a lot of things about themselves, but have been conditioned to accept the other. Um, and I'm in particular, I'm sharing from my stuff is the fact that I don't have a desire to have children, but I think there's a lot of women that know they're bigger than they are operating as. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of women that know they're that girl and they've conditioned themselves to play um, co-starring roles when they're the main character. And I think I think that you should stop
I
because
love that.
you're not serving anyone by doing that. I also think you should stop hanging around people that continuously feed and waters the co-starring role, especially when they know you're the main character.
That's a word. That's a word. We're gonna leave it with that. Like everybody is a main character in their own story. So it's like if you're not nurturing that part of you, you become the what is it? Who is in Superman? I feel like no, Batman,
I'm
Robin. You be the Robin
Robin.
in
Yeah, the co-starring, the
yeah,
co-starring, and you think by playing the co-starring role you're being humble. You're not. You're
no,
not humble. You're
like
not humble. You're scared. You're not humble. You're fearful. Stop.
and all it does is you become like dependent. Look, we're not about being dependent. We're about to be everybody's adulting. You have to be uh
Absolutely.
independent. And as scary as it is, you still got you. God still got you. Okay,
Yeah.
next. I have two last questions.
Okay.
What
I
is
love questions.
what is the book you recommend and how can people support and find you?
What is the book that I recommend? The Bible, the Holy Bible. Read it. A lot of people, a lot of people read the haven't read the Bible, but have hearsay the Bible. And I think that the Bible is a great read, like any other book that you may really enjoy. I think if you're someone that's like, I don't want to read the Bible, it's too much for me. I'll give you I'll give you a book you should read. I think you should start reading in the book of Proverbs. And then after you read the book of Proverbs, I think you should read Galatians, the book of Galatians. Um, and then go anywhere you want to go from there. But I think the Bible is a good book. I should read it more. Don't get it twisted. I need to read it more. When I talk to you, I talk to me. I should read it more. And I think that sometimes we don't receive anything because we need the Holy Spirit to reveal things to us. And so the Bible is a great book. as far as following, oh yes, me. You should follow my business. Please sign up for our email list at flexandfly.com. That is the name of my business. You flexing, stretching it out and flying, darling. So flex and fly with .com. Sign up for our email list because we own that. We don't own social media. So I don't really care if you follow us on social media if you're not really on my email list. We are 22,000 strong. I'd like to get to 25,000. And I write love notes, which I call emails, to my supporters there. And we don't really harass you that much. We're not that company. We will soon be, but not at the moment. We'll be like Fashion Nova soon, sending you countless of emails, but not now. And also, if you want to work with me personally, you can reach out to me at hernameisyoumie.com, where I help with business strategy, money trauma, issues, and I do a lot of speaking engagements. You can reach out there. And then, of course, I'm on all socials if you do prefer to follow me on there. But I don't want you there if you're just a monitoring spirit. Please leave me alone. Please.
And on that note, oh my God, we are heavy on the no monitoring spirits. Like if you
Please,
see
please,
something, say something.
for the love of
Like, you know what I'm saying? See something, say something. Don't keep it to yourself. Um, yo, this conversation was mostly appreciated and needed. And I got to learn so much more about like what is what's driving you, what your story has been, and where you're going. Like it's such an amazing journey. Like
my
and
love.
to keep that light, like you have like this glow about you, you're always smiling. I know there's life still hits you. So I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, there's nothing. You're no.
Oh yeah, no. The people
I,
that smile the hardest have gone through it.
Let
We've
me,
gone
what you
through
guys
it.
smile about? Because I'm still here. Like I am alive.
I'm fixing. I didn't give up.
I did not. Thank God. Like God is still holding me. So I have a lot to be happy about. So I truly see that it's like it's that glow of going through the fire and ending up on the other side. So I see that I am just so honored that you were able to have this conversation with me and pour into not only me, but my audience and share more about who you are as a person and a businesswoman. So thank you so much, Youmie.
Thank you, man. I adore you. Thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for being so kind to me.
Oh, listen, it's nothing. It's nothing. I see the God in you. Like I don't think it's much effort to, even though it's, you know what, it is strength to be kind.
It is strength to be kind, yes. It is.
But
It
you make it
is.
easy. So it's
Thank you. I want to make your life easy. That's my goal.
thank you so much for joining us. Remember, it is the Art of Braids podcast. I'm your host, Karyne Tinord, and you are now listening to Youmie Jean-Francois of Flex and Fly Travel and Wellness Company. Stay tuned for the next one.
Hi, everyone.